That's a very real risk of sounding like I'm going to put on a tinfoil hat here. Let's talk about vibes. And although people don't like to talk about extrasensory perception, we all know when we're being looked at, we can feel it. So there's something to that feeling. And certainly there's something to the feeling of freedom we have now that a law-abiding American is in charge, specifically Donald Trump, as opposed to lawless leftists. The important thing to note here now is that since the vibe in this country has shifted from the left to the right, just about everybody feels more comfortable on the right, except for those people who were very, very far left, and now they feel the dissonance of guilt simply because they know what they did was wrong, and they're afraid of being found out. Whereas those of us who really weren't doing any wrong but were being made into criminals had a different vibe, certainly from a different source. So rather than having these feelings inside us be part of ourselves, I believe that they come from a greater or exterior source. And it's that source that is so ridiculously unscientific because it's so ridiculously unmeasurable. But we can feel it nonetheless. And it's the idea of aligning ourselves unto a proper spirit so that whatever we do in private won't bother us when everybody says it in public. And that's the difference between being good, which has ever been defined by mankind in this state, and being righteous, which is defined by man's maker, or the ability to feel right no matter who's looking, no matter what you're doing. As you read the great quotes, even from centuries ago, you see the encapsulation and description of virtues that tell us that we can do virtuous things both privately and publicly without feeling bad about them in eternity, as opposed to doing shameful things which people who are up to their neck in intrigue and largesse, graft, go into complete psychopathic rants rather than risk having people know what they themselves have done. But the Bible clearly says that what is done in secret will be proclaimed upon the rooftops. And more importantly, those of us who do evil doeth it unto ourselves. And if you think things are bad, having the right in charge who don't know everything that you've done in secret, but more importantly have maybe done those things and have since repented of them, imagine how you'll feel if you don't change when it's not Trump who's in charge, but he who knows and will acquire of us a justification for every word that we certainly say, even in idle moments. Time is now to change, for as it is also written, though thy sins be as scarlet, they can become as white as wool. And the process begins with fixing what we've done and never doing it again for anything that we've done that is not praiseworthy or of good report.